Can you identify a particular position group, a side of the ball, or even a coaching advantage? How will that area or areas provide a pathway to a victory?
Yeah, I think that the Bears' run game is one of the strengths. And by run game, I'm saying their offensive line and the fact that they've been able to kind of run over particularly Philadelphia, but other teams as well. They've improved in the run and the running game quite a bit. And I think that I don't know that the Packers are as susceptible to the run as they once were in previous seasons. Even with Kenny Clark, there were different times when you felt like he was kind of on an island with some of that stuff. He needed more help between the tackles, but I think that that is an area that has been exploited. There, that kind of runs per yards per run type thing, and I think that's an area that the Bears have to win in order to win this game. If they can run the ball and get their play action game going, that would be the best thing. I really think that the offensive line has improved. And Olin told us he thinks it's the best in the league over the last 3 weeks or so. I'm not going to argue with him about offensive line play. So I think they've gotten a lot better. I think that's the kind of way you beat a team like this as well. If you can hold on to the ball and you can pound the running game a little bit. Look, they are probably a more talented team, top to bottom, than the Bears are. They're certainly a more experienced team. I think that we probably didn't give Jordan Love enough of his due yesterday in comparison to Caleb Williams. I just think that Love has won in the playoffs and has a better, longer career. I think a lot of what we were talking about was trying to project how this will go in the future. I'm not sure that I am sure that Caleb has a longer strip, I think he's going to be able to get better. And I think that I don't know how much better Jordan Love is going to get. I'm not saying he's the finished product, but I feel like Caleb has a lot of areas that he can reach. I'm not sure that that's happening this year or maybe even next year. Who knows? But I think that eventually he will be the better player of the two. I just think that that's a really dangerous team at home, and they've got a lot of depth, and they've got really solid coaching, and I don't think this is an easy game in any way.
Bears are better at taking the ball away than almost anybody in the league. So they're definitely better than the Packers at taking the ball away. I think that will be a key if they hope to win in Green Bay on Sunday. Also, Mully, to your point, time of possession, running the ball, short passing game, keeping the clock moving, converting on third down. The Bears have been good lately of converting on third down. Caleb Williams, all of a sudden in Philadelphia, found touch. So the best way to slow Jordan Love, who now we're throwing bouquets at, is to keep him standing on the sideline and watching the Bears' offensive line push the Packers around.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult. This is a team in Green Bay. The defense is 8th in the league in stopping the run, 98 yards per game. They're even better at home, where that number becomes 86. And so that defense is better than the Eagles at stopping the run, and they will be braced for that. I don't know. That doesn't mean that the Bears' offensive line can't still control the line of scrimmage and dictate the course of the game. That's the Bears' best method for success. That should be their chosen route, to run over the Packers, not around them or try to run behind them as much. You want to take your deep shots. You want to have the passing game, but you've got to arrive at Lambeau Field committed to establishing the run like any good football team does in December. So that's the only area where you could find a potential advantage. Now, you could get into the weeds a little bit and wonder how the Packer linebackers will fare against the Bears tight ends. This could be a tight end fest for the Bears if they choose to exploit the mismatch that is likely to happen whenever a Packer defender tries to cover Colston Loveland. He is your best weapon in the red zone, I believe. The wide receivers have to step up. You don't know if Rome Odunze is going to be healthy or not, but that isn't a position group that necessarily has been consistent. Defensively, Dustin's right. The Bears take the ball away, but Jordan Love, who deserves our respect, I don't know if we're throwing bouquets at him as much as we are acknowledging the fact that he has been an efficient quarterback. He is a guy with 19 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions. So he doesn't turn the ball over. And
we'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that. And if you're asking about the best pathway to victory is to run it down their throats, I just don't know that it's going to be as easy as it appeared to be in Philadelphia.
Right.
You please share a score, and will you be giving us a number one storyline when we get back together on Monday morning?
Well, I think the number one storyline when we get back together Monday morning, either way, is going to be the state of the NFC North and who's on top and who's ready to take the North and maybe never give it back. But this is so much fun because this week has including what we're going to talk about for the next 3 hours, but it's a relevant game that affects the NFC balance of power. And that hasn't been the case this late in the season. We have all of the statistics to back it up. It's been since 2001 the last time both teams had a record of 5 or more games above 500 meeting at the same time. So this is a rivalry that is beginning to be rekindled. It's always emotional. It's always visceral, but seldom does it mean anything. Like last year, Caleb Williams, it was great for him personally, going 1-0 at Lambeau. But what did the outcome really give the Bears other than just a 5th victory? So this year, stakes are high. Packers are pissed. Bears are going to be up for a difficult challenge. I don't see them beating the Packers at Lambeau. But I think that sets up a great matchup on the lakefront in a couple weeks, which is the other dynamic in play here. And I don't know if the Bears are going to lose that game. I think this series is going to be split this year, but that means on Sunday, the Bears run into a defense that's going to limit their running game and a quarterback that is red hot. Packers 31, Bears 27. I'm getting
David.
Okay.
Let's go back to what the Bears do best. Not only better than the Packers, but better than anybody else in football. They take the ball away. Jordan Love, 7-0 without a pick. Jordan and Love, 1-3-1 with a pick. The Bears are going to pick off Jordan Love. I don't need the 6.5. I don't want the 6.5. I will take the 6.5. Bears 21, Packers 20. Bears offensive line cements itself as the best unit in professional football.
I think that this is a really uphill climb trying to find the right result for the Bears. I think, unfortunately, I think they're playing a team that's better than them. I don't know that they're good enough to beat them twice, but I know that they're good enough to win this game at home, and I'm going with the Packers 28-24. Sorry, but that's just the way it came out. And I felt like, last week I felt like the Bears could go into Philly and win because I have a good friend out there that was telling me what a mess that Philadelphia is. This is not going on right now with Green Bay.
Green Bay's not a mess.
They're not a mess.
They're not dysfunctional.
They had their problems.
Yeah, they kind of overcame them.
They lost the tight end and they bounced back. And I wish that there was a more obvious throughway to a victory, but I unfortunately feel like it's going to be
when the schedules came out and you saw these two games bunched together. Yeah. I really believed incorrectly that, or I anticipated incorrectly that Jordan Love would be struggling more than he's struggling. Right now, he's one strong month away from making a run at being in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, no, he's playing a lot better than
Playing
he
at a
was.
high level.
He struggled like after the tight end went down. They
Tucker
needed
Kraft
a couple
going down
of weeks
was
to
an
kind of get
adjustment.
themselves, and they adjusted, and they've made that adjustment.
Yeah.
And now they're getting healthy, and it's not good. And I think that they did make the move for Micah Parsons for games like this. This is kind of why he's on their team.
In months like this.
Well, months like this.
Yep.
All right, that is the sad reality. Hopefully, Bigsy will have good news. We'll talk
Dustin
to
picked the Bears.
Brad Biggs next. I know he did.
I'm
I'm
shocked.
happy he did. I'm worried that he's getting a little over his skis, but I'm not. I that's not a new position for him.
No.
He is sort of the agony of sports guy.